All right, so we're doing a deep dive today into women's empowerment,
Okay.
but with like a twist.
Okay.
So it's this system, and honestly, I've never seen anything like it before. And it comes from this woman, Florence, and she's this coach. She's helped so many women, like entrepreneurs and leaders, just like really step up their game.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Yeah, and so what she does is she blends all these different areas like psychology and communication.
Oh, wow.
Even business strategy, and like wraps it all together to help women just unlock everything they've got.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at two of her big things, her Odyssey of Self course,
Okay.
and then her Self-Concept Ultimate Algorithm Playbook. And I'll tell you what this deep dive is, just a glimpse of what she offers.
Well, I'm really curious to hear more about it because what really fascinates me about Florence's work is how she builds everything on this foundation of self-concept, but she doesn't stop at just, know yourself. She goes deeper, like how do you actually use that knowledge to create the life that you want?
Okay, so it's like self-awareness plus action.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, and speaking of that title, the Self-Concept Ultimate Algorithm.
Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful.
It is, but when I hear that, I think of like some complex code unlocking hidden potential.
Ooh, I like that.
Is that kind of the idea?
I think it's a great analogy, honestly, because she breaks it down into 4 parts: self-awareness, acceptance, improvement, and then ultimately empowerment.
So it's like a journey.
Yeah, it's totally a journey, and it makes me think of like leveling up in a video game.
Okay.
So, you start by understanding your strengths, and then you own them, you build on them, and then you use those strengths to create the life that you want.
I see the algorithm at work.
Yeah, right?
So you mentioned the Odyssey of Self course as well. How does that fit into all of this?
That's where it all begins.
Okay.
It's understanding that process of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And she has this really cool assessment tool with these different levels. So she's got levels like aspiring achiever, an empowered leader, and it's not about labeling yourself.
Right.
It's more about recognizing where you are on your path at this moment.
So everyone's on their own unique hero's journey.
Yeah, exactly.
But with this framework as a guide.
Totally.
And I think a really key part of that journey is exploring what Florence calls the mansion of your mind. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
Okay, so it's this powerful visualization exercise.
Okay.
Where you imagine your mind as this big mansion and every room represents a different part of you.
Oh, wow.
So you might have a room for your professional self, your playful self, and even maybe a room where you kind of hide all those anxieties and insecurities.
All the stuff you don't want anybody to see.
Exactly. The stuff we kind of shove under the rug.
Right.
That's your shadow self. And Florence really believes that until you acknowledge and integrate those hidden parts, you can't fully embrace your strength.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is.
So facing our shadows, though, that can be really scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does she give any guidance on how to do that safely, especially for women who maybe have been told to kind of suppress those emotions?
Oh, absolutely. She provides a ton of different techniques and exercises to approach those shadow parts safely and constructively. And one of the key things she emphasizes is reframing anger.
Anger.
Yeah.
Isn't that something women are often told to, like, avoid, especially in professional settings?
Oh, totally. But she encourages us to see anger as this valuable piece of information. Like it's a signal that something needs to change. And she even connects it back to those shadow aspects, suggesting that anger can often point to the things that need attention.
Wow. So it's about understanding yourself.
Yes.
The good, the bad, the messy.
Yes.
And then using that understanding to empower yourself.
Absolutely.
I like that.
And that empowerment extends to how we interact with others, too. Florence dives deep into communication skills, especially highlighting the dangers of what she calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Okay, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now, that sounds pretty ominous.
It does.
What are we talking about?
So think of these as like toxic communication patterns that can totally wreck relationships, both personal and professional.
Okay.
So we're talking criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. They create this awful cycle that erodes trust and connection.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
No, not at all. And, it makes me think, are these patterns really that common? Especially in the workplace.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so imagine a team meeting and you've got one person who's constantly shooting down everybody else's ideas. it creates this atmosphere of fear and resentment.
Oh, yeah.
That's a prime example of the Four Horsemen at play.
So it's not just romantic relationships, it's all of our interactions.
Exactly. At work with friends, even with ourselves.
And Florence gives us strategies to combat these patterns, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's about building connection and understanding.
Exactly. And not being victims of these patterns, but learning how to recognize them and interrupt them and create healthier dynamics.
Exactly. And that's what Florence is all about.
Oh,
Giving women the tools and knowledge to become empowered agents of change
love it.
within themselves and in the world around them.
Okay, so much to unpack here already.
I know, right?
This system feels like it could be seriously life-changing,
It is.
especially for women in leadership.
Absolutely. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, there's more.
There's so much more. Florence also brings in these fascinating theoretical frameworks like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Maslow. Oh, yeah, I remember that pyramid from Psych 101.
Yeah.
How does that fit in here?
So Florence uses Maslow to really highlight how important it is that we meet our basic needs first
Okay.
before we can even begin to reach for self-actualization.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, and she points out that the original hierarchy has actually been expanded to include even more,
Oh, really?
like cognitive needs and aesthetic needs.
Interesting. So it's not just about survival, it's about thriving in every aspect of life.
Exactly, and it doesn't stop there. She brings in Dilt's neurological levels.
Okay, and let's see.
Which is this fascinating way to understand all the different layers of personal change.
Oh, wow.
It's like a blueprint for transformation.
Okay.
It covers everything from our environment and behaviors to our beliefs and values, and even our sense of identity.
So it goes way beyond just setting goals.
Oh, absolutely.
It's addressing those deeper parts that hold us back.
Exactly. And understanding that change isn't just about willpower or motivation.
Yep.
It's about aligning all those different levels.
Right.
Our environment, behaviors, capabilities, beliefs, identity, even our spirituality
Wow.
to create lasting transformation.
It's like those Russian nesting dolls.
Yes.
You have to work through each layer to get to the core.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Okay, so what else?
So speaking of layers, Florence also uses the heroine's journey framework.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's so much more relatable than the traditional hero's journey,
Oh, absolutely.
which is all about, external achievements and conquests.
Right, like slaying dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas the heroine's journey really explores those unique stages of a woman's path to self-discovery and empowerment.
It's about those internal battles.
Yeah.
Those moments of self-doubt and fear that we all experience.
Absolutely. And especially as women, and Florence doesn't just leave us there with those doubts and feels.
Right.
She actually takes that heroine's journey and adapts it into a 6-step strategy
Oh, cool.
that women can use to really navigate their personal and professional lives with purpose and intention.
So it's like a roadmap.
Yeah, like a roadmap.
Okay, walk me through those steps.
Okay, so step 1 is all about connecting to your passion and purpose, figuring out what truly lights you up and gives your life meaning.
Yeah, and then what?
And then step 2 focuses on unleashing your talents,
Okay.
identifying those unique skills and abilities that make you you.
It's like finding your superpower.
Yes,
Right.
exact.
But having a superpower is one thing.
Right.
Using it is another.
Totally.
So how do we do that?
Well, that brings us to step 3.
Okay.
Use your talents and superpowers.
I like it.
This is where you put those talents into action to make a difference in your work, your relationships, and the world around you.
So it's not just about self-improvement. It's about using those newfound strengths to make a positive impact.
Exactly.
I like that.
And to really support that impact, step 4 encourages you to expand your circle and your community.
Okay.
It's about building that network of people who share your values, believe in you, and can really offer you support and guidance along the way.
It's like having that tribe of cheerleaders,
Yes.
mentors, collaborators.
Yes.
That can make all the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then comes step 5, cultivate a healthy playground.
Healthy playground.
Yeah, what do you think that means?
I don't know. It sounds intriguing, though.
It is.
Mhm.
So what is it? It's about creating an environment that truly supports your well-being,
Okay.
both personally and professionally.
Yeah.
It's about setting boundaries, managing your time and energy effectively, and surrounding yourself with positive influences that help you thrive.
So it's like designing a life that fuels your growth
Exactly.
and allows you to be your best self.
Yes. And then finally, step 6
Okay.
is all about embracing the heroine's journey,
Okay.
acknowledging that challenges are going to come up, They're inevitable.
Yeah, for sure.
But they offer incredible opportunities for growth and transformation.
Right.
It's about developing that resilience, that grit that allows you to move through those obstacles and come out even stronger.
It's like facing your inner dragons,
Yeah.
slaying them one challenge at a time.
Exactly.
I love that.
And, Florence also draws inspiration from another powerful framework.
Oh, which one?
Richard Barrett's 7 Levels of Consciousness model. Have you heard of this one?
I have not.
Okay, so it dives into the different stages of human development.
Okay.
And those underlying fears and values that really shape our behavior.
So she loves incorporating all these different frameworks.
He does.
To help us understand this from different angles.
Yeah, and Barrett's model is fascinating because it shows how we evolve over time, moving through different levels of consciousness, from survival and relationships to self-esteem transformation, making a difference, and ultimately service.
So it's like a spiral staircase.
Yes.
We keep circling back to those different levels as we grow and face new challenges.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Barrett also links these levels to ego development.
Okay.
So as we move through those stages, our sense of self also evolves. It becomes more mature, more compassionate, and more connected to something bigger than ourselves.
So it's not just about individual growth.
Right.
It's about becoming more aware of our place in the world.
Exactly.
And our impact on others.
Yes.
And our potential to create positive change.
Exactly. And Florence ties this back to her vision of the evolutionary woman.
Okay.
She sees this as a woman who embraces change, who challenges the status quo and uses her power to create a better future for herself and for others.
So it's about stepping into our power and using it to make a real difference.
Exactly, but how do we actually do that?
Yeah, it's one thing to understand it.
Right.
It's another thing to actually put it into practice.
Totally. And that's where Florence's unique blend of tools and resources comes in.
Okay, so remind me, what are those 2 key pieces again?
So remember we talked about the Odyssey of Self course
Yeah.
and the Self-Concept Ultimate Algorithm playbook?
Yeah, they sound like they could be game changers.
They are, but are they only for entrepreneurs or women in leadership positions?
Not at all. They're for women at any stage of their journey.
Oh, good.
So Odyssey of Self is like a deep dive into, who you are, helps you understand your strengths, values, your purpose.
Okay.
And then the playbook is more practical. It's filled with exercises and strategies that you can use to start building a more empowering self-concept.
So it's like a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, exactly.
First, you get the self-awareness, and then you have the tools to actually use it.
Exactly. And she offers a ton of free resources, too, to get you started.
It does.
Like the 14-day self-power challenge.
Yes.
What's that?
So that's a really cool way to kind of get a taste of her work.
Okay.
And start putting the concepts of self-concept into practice. You get daily prompts, exercises, reflections, all focused on building that more empowering self-image.
So try before you buy.
Exactly.
See if it's a good fit for you.
Yes. And if you're looking for even more support and community, she has the Feminine Greatness Hub. So it's a free online membership where you can access articles and videos and connect with other women who are on a similar path.
That's awesome.
It is.
It's like a one-stop shop for empowerment.
Yeah, you could say that. And then for those who are ready to really go all in, she offers a paid membership called The Circle.
Okay.
And it provides even deeper support and guidance and access to exclusive content and workshops.
So there's something for everyone.
There is.
No matter where they are on their journey.
Exactly. And one of the things I love most about her work is her emphasis on intuition.
Yes.
She sees it as such a powerful source of wisdom and guidance, especially for women.
I love that.
It's like reclaiming that feminine intuition that's been so dismissed and undervalued.
Totally.
And she offers specific practices to help women strengthen that intuitive muscle, like mindfulness journaling and dream work.
So it's about tuning into that gut feeling.
Yes.
That often guides us in the right direction.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm liking this a lot.
And speaking of guidance, have you ever heard of the Metaskills wheel?
I have not. What is that?
So it's this tool that Florence uses to help women develop those essential qualities that make them more effective leaders, communicators, and collaborators.
Okay, so give me some examples. What kind of qualities are we talking about?
So think of it as like a compass for navigating your interactions with the world and with other people. And it includes things like heart or intimacy, commitment, respect, inquiry, deep democracy, collaboration, playfulness, courage.
Wow. That's quite the list. And it seems like those qualities really cover
They do.
so much of what it means to be like a well-rounded, successful person.
Exactly. And the meta skills wheel is this great reminder that these aren't just talents.
Right.
They're skills that we can actually cultivate and strengthen with practice.
So developing those could be a game changer for women, especially those in leadership positions.
Absolutely. Imagine a world where female leaders are known for their empathy, their collaboration, and their courage to speak their truth.
I love that vision.
It's a beautiful vision.
And it seems like she's created this whole ecosystem.
She has.
To support women in achieving that vision.
She has.
From those free resources to the in-depth programs and communities.
Yeah, and what's so inspiring about Florence is that she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. She's been an entrepreneur, a leader in the corporate world, a coach, a fundraiser for nonprofits.
Okay, so she's got the experience to back it up.
She does. She's drawn on all those experiences to create this system that's both deeply personal and universally applicable.
And that's what makes her work so relatable.
Exactly.
She's not just some guru on a mountaintop.
Right.
She's been in the trenches.
Yes, she has.
Experiencing the challenges and the triumphs firsthand.
Absolutely. And she brings that authenticity and vulnerability to her work.
Yeah.
And it creates this space where women feel seen, heard, and understood.
So now as we're kind of wrapping up our deep dive into her world, what are some key takeaways that our listeners can start applying today?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to start cultivating that self-awareness. Take some time to reflect on your values, your strengths, your passions, even those shadow aspects that might be holding you back.
It's about getting to know yourself on a deeper level,
Yes.
warts and all,
Yes.
and using that knowledge to make choices that are aligned with your authentic self.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do this alone.
Right.
Connect with other women who are on a similar journey. Find mentors and role models who inspire you.
Yeah.
And create that support system that's going to help you thrive.
And don't forget to tap into that intuition.
Yes.
Trust that inner voice.
Yes. Trust your gut.
And allow it to guide you.
Absolutely.
Empowerment is an ongoing journey.
It is.
There are going to be ups and downs, challenges, triumphs.
For sure.
But by embracing the process and committing to your growth,
yes,
you can create a life that's truly fulfilling and impactful.
Absolutely. And I think this has been an incredible journey.
I know, right?
She's truly created something special. Yeah.
A system that's not just about empowering women. It's about building a world where everyone can thrive.
That's a vision worth fighting for.
It is. So thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Florence. We hope you learned a lot and feel inspired to create positive change in your life and the world.
If you're ready to start your own Odyssey of Self, go check out Florence's website.
Yes.
The Feminine Greatness Hub.
It's a great place to start.
It really is. And who knows, maybe this is just the start of you unleashing your full potential.
That's a beautiful thought to end on.
Yeah, it is. Let's go out there and make it happen.